Welcome to the Financial Rebellion Podcast. I'm your host, Todd Romer. We started this podcast for two specific reasons. Number one, we've been helping thousands of people across the country through the speaking tour and the Financial Rebellion newsletter, how to rebel against traditional financial norms that are not working. We teach money way differently, how to dream differently, how to overcome limiting beliefs about yourself and money, how to save and spend money differently to create less stress and increase that control that you desire. And we teach how to create significant wealth over time by learning more about investing and so much more. Some of our guests come on and show you what their side hustle is about, how they're creating additional income, and even turning those side hustles into legit businesses. And we have other expert guests that are teaching money the Financial Rebellion way, like we do too. The second reason we started the podcast is we're big fans of credit unions. And there are millions of people across the country that are still unsure about what the difference between a credit union and a bank actually is. Well, when you actually manage and do money the Financial Rebellion way, it lines up beautifully with being a member of a credit union. Now, let's get into this episode of Financial Rebellion. Welcome to the Financial Rebellion Podcast. This episode, we're excited to bring on Brie Nunley from Phoenix, a recent graduate of Arizona State, a student athlete as well. And her story is going to be pretty darn cool because it's pretty unique because it's not a traditional business, if you will. But she's an author of a book that she is going to be sharing on this podcast. And before we welcome Brie, just want to, again, shout out how we are big fans of credit unions as we're helping them pretty much get into the minds and kind of the understanding of young people as to why they can help you do money the Financial Rebellion way. And so we're excited about them. And also we have some exciting partnerships with companies like Acorns, which allows you to begin investing with as little as $5 to $10 per week, and even with spare change. So, well, let's get into this this episode of Financial Rebellion, welcoming Brie Nunley.
Hi, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Happy to be here.
Okay, so Brie, out of the gate, we always ask our guests those questions, the quick ones here.
Okay.
Before we talk about your book that you're authoring, and that's a business in and of itself, right? What has been your smartest and worst money move as recent as yesterday or over the last few years?
Yeah. Okay. I will start with the first part in that. My smartest money move was definitely opening up my Roth about 2 years ago now and having that and investing actually into it and maxing it out each year. And also just diversifying my investments in that as well to not have it all in one bucket. Outside of that, then the worst one, um, definitely be my freshman year. I was a huge person of going to the nail salons, even though I couldn't afford groceries every week. So I ended up spending almost all of my high school graduation money. And after 12 months, I totaled it and had spent over about $1,200 of just getting my nails done when, yeah, I was worried every week about if I could buy my groceries or not, but I'd still get my nails done.
That's a new one rather. It's not unique. It's a new one. So thanks for sharing and being vulnerable about your nail costs. I totally get that. I have 4 adult kids. My daughter is 20. Oh man, she's gonna be listening like, Dad, you still don't remember. 23, I think. But anyway, me, if I'm wrong, sorry, just on the spot. But yeah, she likes that as well. In
Yeah.
fact, growing up, I've always shared this on our speaking tour with Mia, my daughter, that so we teach named savings accounts.
Yep.
Financial Rebellion is about how to rebel against traditional financial norms that are not working. And one of the things of many that we teach that's so different that people go, wait a minute, I'm going to do this, is to create named savings accounts. And one of those I said growing up, I said when Mia was about 10 years old, we had her brothers were older and we had a Jack's baseball savings account, travel baseball, Luke's braces, because we knew he was going to have braces
Yep.
coming up in a few years. And I put Mia's activities savings account, but I look back, Brie, and I should have called it Mia's Sephora savings account.
Yeah, that's a big hit too. A lot of people struggle with that one as well. So
And I probably have been to some 4 different locations probably 40 times. Anyway, okay, as we move forward now, what was, one of the things that our viewers and listeners should know, we met briefly after speaking, to the Arizona State University student athletes when you were still in school, because now you've graduated from ASU, correct?
correct.
And you also soccer was your, uh,
Yes. Soccer player.
sport of choice. What position did you play in soccer?
Center mid. So a lot of running.
A lot of wanting. Before we get into your book, though, what was the most fun thing, or yeah, what was the most fun thing that you enjoyed being a D1 student athlete with a high profile institution like ASU?
I would say the girls on my team, just the people around you. I mean, you can have all the fame of the light and people coming to your games, and that's great. But really, it's the people at the end of the day that made the biggest difference.
Yeah, that's fun. Awesome. Okay, let's get into your book that you've
Yep.
created called Dream It.
Yes.
Share how this book, this idea came about, Bree, for you to actually you're moving close to bringing this to the
Yeah.
public soon.
Yeah, it was about a year ago now, actually. It was this time last year, and, I was sitting down with my mom talking about getting ready for senior year and all the things that when I was little of who I wanted to be, and the biggest one was always a soccer player, and I had accomplished that dream at this point, and coming into my senior year, I then had the inspiration of how do I help younger generations keep dreaming those dreams and see that any possibility is available to them. And from that, I always have liked writing. I loved children's books when I was little, obviously, as most kids do. And I had a career picture day event when I was little as well. So, all of those activities coming into one, I decided to create Dream It, which is an interactive children's book that helps inspire kids to see all possibilities of who they can be or whoever they want to be.
What's the age target for Dream It, the book?
Definitely starts probably around 4 or 5 when you can start to more idealize those things and concepts, and then I'd say up to 7, but also at the end of the day, I think any adult could even use this book. It helps to see that your dreams aren't one thing. They can keep changing as you grow. So yes, it is a children's book, but at the end of the day, I think I will also be using this book as my dreams continue to change.
I love hearing that because every time I speak around the country, I doesn't matter who's in the crowd, whether it's 20 people or 200, I still speak to myself and listen to what I'm telling people around money. Okay, you just had I just had a thought. We just had recently Kelly Shea, who's from lives in Orlando, Florida, on our Financial Rebellion podcast. I'm not sure if you listened to her episode yet, but you two need to speak, and that'll be something we can talk about off air. But she has a company and product called Innovation Station
Uh-huh.
Kits, and it is also targeted to the same age group,
Yes.
but to help young people start thinking about invention, using their mind and dreaming in some
Yep.
ways too, right? So her statistics on young people having kind of genius type
Yep.
level starts to subside as they get older, meaning as they're going to traditional school in a classroom of 30, all this, the dreams and the invention mind starts to subside, which is very sad, right? So you've got opportunity. The homeschool market, by the way, is significant for what you're doing. I want to highly recommend that. Okay, so there you go. We got networking on Financial Rebellion
Perfect.
already
I
here,
know, I
Bree.
just actually read that newsletter, off the website. So, yeah, I saw that and I wanted to ask you about her, so that's incredible. Glad you brought it up.
Cool. Okay, you're reading our Financial Rebellion newsletter. What do you? This is what do you think? How do you like it so far?
I like it. I really like that it's easily set up to read. It's not just a bunch of words thrown at you, which a lot of newsletters are and different things you subscribe to, so it was different and it was unique, and I've enjoyed it. I really have.
Cool. Well, this isn't about us completely, that's for sure. So let's get back to where a year ago.
Mhm.
So you're dreaming this book called
Yes,
Dream It,
yes.
and a lot of people, trust me, millions of people have a dream to start something.
Mhm.
And then they start taking steps, and then this fear and doubt comes in. Like, so tell me about how that has progressed and what have you done to kind of push out the fear and doubt as you're moving your book to publication?
Yeah, my biggest thing in this was no matter what fear and doubt came about, the book wasn't about me at the end of the day. It was about inspiring kids in the next generation and having those dreams come to life. So why would I let myself get in the way of that? And the book's mission truly is that if I can impact one kids from this and help them inspire to be whoever they want, then it's a success in my mind. So that piece of the fear and doubt in that I really just kind of pushed it aside, and there is no fear or doubt because again, if I can impact one kid's life, it's a complete success in my mind.
So you said, okay, this is not about me. This is
Yeah,
about impact. And
completely.
when you did that, your fear and doubt is very minimal. So that's a
Yeah,
great antidote to fear and doubt for people
yeah,
listening.
completely.
Okay, so you've had to write, you've had to bring in some illustrators, or where are you at with getting this quote? It's a product at the end of the day. Your book is a
Yeah.
product. So where are you now, and how is that process of getting the right people on board to help you get to the finish line?
Yeah, currently I'm in the stage of finding an illustrator for this to hopefully have the book fully done by the end of the year and have a official product ready to go out and publish and get out into the market. Through this, I did the route of actually going through at ASU. We have a program called Venture Devils and then SportX within athletics. So you go and actually pitch your ideas and get funding for these things. So through that process, I've been able to now secure enough funding to go and pay for an illustrator, get this piece done, and then also do a bulk order of books. So had to wait for all that funding to actually hit my bank account because that took a lot longer than I expected actually of funding processes. So that was a big learning of patience. But now that I fully have it, I can actually take that next step and especially after graduating with a lot more time on my plate, really dedicate more to this.
Do you have a envision a certain page count?
Um, Through that, it's kind of varied. A lot of it depends too on the size of the book because there's so much in it that I learned about book ordering as well that the price varies by the type of paper, hardcover, softcover, obviously, but then also the size of the book in that. But page count would be around 20 to 25, but also in that, based on the different amount of pages, it will increase or decrease price for it. So also layering out those metrics right now at the moment too.
Okay, I'm going to get into a little more, which I don't do this with a lot of guests because we try and keep it to 25 minutes or so. But
Yeah.
um, have you thought of marketing channels, which obviously is going to include social media?
Yep.
And so tell us more about your thoughts of how you're going to market Dream It.
Yeah, a lot of it will actually be through direct contact with schools starting off. I think getting one school to buy into this, especially that it's not only just a book, but with the book will be tied to that career picture day activity, like I said, which is where kids can come in and dress up as who they want to be when they grow up. And then they get an actual image of being that person. So you're not just thinking about what you want to do, but you're really embodying that and showing a kid that you can do this. So putting that forward that the book ties into that concept and has different marketing pieces with that. So really going into these schools to do that, but also individual marketing through different Instagram, TikTok, that once again, I have that physical book to put that product out there, then I can start those channels more. Cause I have my AI image that I sent you for the title that I've used for all these pitches and everything, but I don't want that to be the main image of the book since that's not what it actually will be.
Yeah, that's great. I could envision kids walking into school with an astronaut suit on,
Completely.
um, a MLS or
Yep.
professional female soccer player jersey. The list
Yeah.
goes on. That is so cool. That's I love what you're doing. You're in that beginning stages of doing it while you got other things going on in your life. So
Yep.
this is like a legit significant side hustle, right? Because it can't be your
Completely.
full time business because you're not making any money yet, which is another cool thing that we speak on in Financial Rebellion, our newsletter is, hey, keep your day job going, but here's a side hustle idea to supplement and drive additional income. Um, okay, cool. Well, Financial Rebellion, we are all about, again, helping people kind of change how they think about themselves and money, how they manage money, how they bank differently with certain institutions, including credit unions. We're big fans of credit unions. So you've got when you start a business, when you start a side hustle, how important is it to have your network, meaning friends, family, support you? How big has that been along the road of your journey so far?
It's been huge. I mean, I'm always one that says your network is your net worth at the end of the day, and it's something I truly live by. Everyone surrounding you, you can learn stuff from, but also they become your supporters at the end of the day, and you need that, especially starting something from scratch and something new. There's a lot of bumps in the road, so you always need that network around you to kind of help support it.
And then, so share more of your dreams beyond Dream It. What are you trying to accomplish in your 20s or 30s? What are some of the bigger expanding dreams that you have for
Uh,
your life, Bree?
I want to go to law school next. So currently actually studying for the LSAT, and planning to take that in August. So while trying to do everything with Dream It and stuff, still studying for the LSAT and training for a marathon is my next athletic endeavor as well. So have that coming up in December. But yeah, through the 20s, would definitely be going to law school and then getting my first job in a big law firm to kind of learn the basics of everything and hopefully transition back to sports in some aspect after that.
It's fun. Do you know yet what kind of law you might be interested in pursuing?
Um, with it, I like corporate law a lot. Just coming from a marketing background, I think it's helpful to have that as well because a lot of what's going on in corporate law with that is that contractual agreements, obviously, but how does that get marketed to the public as well, and especially within sports for that. So sports law will be my main focus at the end. I love the idea of in-house counsel for a professional sports team. Is definitely an ideal role at the end of the day, but yeah, that's kind of what we're working towards, and the first step is getting this LSAT done to get the score I need to get into law school.
That's great. Well, I think a lot of viewers and listeners are knowing what your endeavors have been with Dream It, the book, and what that consists of. One final question about the book before I ask you just a couple of random money questions, because
Okay.
that's our platform, right? Financial
Yeah.
Rebellion. But the last question I have about your book is: are you sharing stories inside the book of this? Are they real story? Are you doing any storytelling in the book for the young readers?
The storytelling will be kind of walking through a career picture day event almost that a teacher does, and there'll be 10 different career paths that are shown to them. But then there's that interactive piece at the end where a kid gets to actually draw and pick their own dream in it. So they get to dream it. They're not just seeing dreams, again, putting that pen to paper. So it is a little bit of walking through a story, but the end is decided by the reader themselves of how the story wants to go.
I love that. They're creating their own story. They're dreaming their own
Right.
story that's going to be told later.
Yeah.
Really cool concept you have there. You definitely need to reach out to Kelly Shea. We'll talk
Yes.
about that afterward.
Yeah.
It's ideal combination here for you and her. Okay, real quick before we end here in a few minutes, just some random money questions that we
Okay.
love to hear from the market, if you will, of 18 to 34 for Financial Rebellion. And we've been super humbled to help thousands of people change their behavior with money, which then gives them more ability to dream about their
Yes.
life. So
But
there's a lot of that's why we had you on. The dream it part is actually a big piece of what we talk about, that before we teach you to save and spend and invest
yeah,
money, you've got to overcome some of what we call limiting beliefs about
completely.
yourself and money, and start dreaming for real. So, okay, if there was one thing that you would love to know about money, anything that you think, man, I'm just not good at this, or I wish I knew more about that, anything stand out to you?
Oh, goodness. Okay, these are off the top of my head. I would say the biggest is I know something you talked about even when you came and presented at ASU, but was really how to allocate towards nonprofits and different organizations where you give your money back. Um, Deciding how much is one good for your own accounts that because you still need to protect yourself and make sure you have everything you need. But at the same time, being able to give to others how to really start allocating that properly.
Yeah, that's great. in terms of, so giving obviously is very important to you, right?
Yes,
And wanting to be
completely.
able to do that, of course, I know it is. And it really is for all of us. There's financial rebellion was not created to hope Brie just makes, has a several $1,000,000 all to herself and it's all about Brie or it's all about Todd or anyone else. It's just that would be a very sad life, right? Uh
Completely.
yeah. And so yeah, it's about the ability to go, wow, if I could manage my money differently, that's being taught,
Mhm.
then I can create a giving savings account, even with this a little bit per month right now, even though I don't have a full income. So
Yeah.
that's what to answer your question on that is, yeah, create a savings account called giving,
Mhm.
just like you would create a savings account for a new car savings account, right? Or a car repair savings account or travel, which I assure you value. Most people value travel and want to save for it. Maybe it's where you create an account called giving. And what does that do? Even if it's only 10 or $20 a month, and you're like, well, the fact that you have it named,
Mhm.
and when you make more money, you're going to be like, oh, I can't wait to get this up to 5, 10% of my income. And that's getting it in your head first, knowing, no, this is important to me, just like a travel is,
Yeah.
or a new car or a house down payment. I'm going to increase this to impact the lives of others. Does that make sense and help you?
Yeah. Completely. Naming it definitely. I have my other savings account, so yeah, such a simple answer, but definitely need that then.
Okay. What about investing? I'm going to ask you about investing. What do you know about investing? When I say the word investor investing, what comes to mind?
To me, it's letting your money work for you, not always having to just work for your money in that. So picking the right investments in that, allocating where you want to go, and kind of like I said at the beginning, learning how to diversify those assets and what one you believe in, if it's stocks that you want to pick yourself and companies you want to be a part of, or if it's simply just going into the S&P and finding a diversified in that and having it allocated there. So yeah, first thing I'd say with investing is letting your money work for you
We call it investing is the greatest side hustle of all time through the
completely.
power of
I
compounding, right?
agree. Yes.
And and that it can literally work on its own. And that is something we teach and show thousands of people how to begin investing for the first time with very little money to start and then slowly but surely add to it.
Yes.
Okay, Bree, you've been fantastic. Any questions of me before we leave on this podcast? This is kind of like a fun learn about your business, the Dream It book. How can how about this? How can people get to follow you, especially the journey of launching that book? If you want to provide your website, social handles, etc.
Yeah. Definitely I'm actually working on a new website at the moment, but currently my main website is just brienunley.com that you can read all about me. And then we'll be launching a separate Dream It page over the summer. So we'll be sure to give that to you later to hopefully get into another newsletter. And then outside of that, my Instagram's Brie.Nunley and my LinkedIn is just Brianna Nunley. So it's all very straightforward, but all of that you can follow my journey through each endeavor.
Great. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. We certainly can stay in contact. If I can help you in any other way, please let us know. It's been fun to follow our guests and how they're doing. And yeah, that's what this is all about. So, well, thank you for your time, Bree, being on as a guest of Financial Rebellion.
No, well, thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for all you're doing with Financial Rebellion. We need more of this out there.
Thank you, Bree. Well, that's our episode of Financial Rebellion. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.